You're listening to the Hustled Up podcast. I'm Laura Natoli.
And I'm Holly Silva, and we are best friends since birth turned multi-passionate entrepreneurs and co-owners of Chores and More, a successful service-based business where everybody is treated like a best friend.
Welcome to our show where tactical business education meets fun and real conversations about this wild journey called life.
Get ready to be inspired. Grab your headphones, turn up the volume, and let's hustle up. Hello, Hustled Up fam. Welcome back to another episode of, you guessed it, Hustled Up. We are your hosts. My name is Holly.
And my name is Laura.
And before we get into one of our best interviews to date, I swear on it, I just want to quickly remind you, if you like what you hear today, show us some love wherever you are listening. This could be in terms of a 5-star rating, a review, a little love letter on Apple Podcasts, I'll be okay, or Spotify. Give us the old thumbs up if you're here on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can be notified whenever we post another podcast, which is once weekly on Tuesdays at 5 a.m. Eastern. Anyway, we are so excited to be back because we had such it was so good. I'm still reeling myself in from just an amazing person, a conversation with an amazing person. Her name is Kathy Merchant. I was calling her Queen Kathy throughout the duration of today's episode because she quite literally is a queen. She owns Calico Cleaning, which she started out of the trunk of her car back in 2009 and has grown it to be a $1.2 million business. She also is a coach, and she owns Kathy Merchant Coaching, and she is a certified cleaning business fundamentals coach as well. She coaches cleaning business owners like herself, and she also coaches anybody when it comes to goal setting. So she is a goal setting coach. She teaches time management, setting goals, holding yourself accountable, managing those goals, keeping track of those goals. And a little fun fact, she is also a full focus planner certified coach. So this is a specific planner brand that she has linked up with, and she uses their planner to really just do crazy, amazing things in terms of setting goals for herself, her multiple businesses. And she's living the life I want to live, which I told her when we stopped recording. I was like, Queen Kathy, you are living the life I want to be living. You are amazing. She does it all. She is a family woman. She has this, 7-figure business. She's a coach. She's actually coaches through multiple platforms. She's just amazing. And we talk about all the things. At one point, Laura and I forgot that we were even podcasting because the conversation was just flowing that well. She talks about her business. She talks about how she started it. She talks about short-term rentals, which is her cleaning business superpower. This is what she is good at. This is how she started. She started in the short-term rental, sub-industry. Is that a word? But that's what she started doing. So she talks all about that. She talks all about time management, goal setting, her future projects, how to use the full focus planner to set goals, or just in general, how to set goals, how to hold yourself accountable for those goals. And overall, we just have an amazing conversation. It's a long one. I'm going to warn y'all, it's a long one, but you're going to want to listen to this. So pop in your headphones. If you're working, fine. If you're driving, fine. Just don't watch. Make sure you keep your eyes on the road. And if you're at home, grab yourself a drink, relax, get comfy, put on your slippers, and let's hang out. Stay tuned.
Are you tired of spending your entire weekend cleaning when you could be going out to brunch with your girls?
First of all, I love brunch. And second of all, yes, there are so many things I could be doing instead of cleaning my house on the weekend.
Oh yeah, like playing video games.
Or watching a movie with the kids.
Going on a date with your significant other.
Taking your dog to the dog park.
Going to the movies.
Solving world hunger.
Yes! Exactly. So this is why it is such a good idea to call up Chores and More for your deep and recurring cleaning needs.
And do you want to know something really, really cool?
What?
If anybody mentions Hustled Up when they call to book, they can receive up to $100 off their deep cleaning.
Up to $100 off. What are you doing still sitting there? Pick up the phone now, mention our podcast, and never have to spend your weekends cleaning again.
Simply go to choresandmorellc.com. You can fill out a request quote form there, or give us a call, send us a text, 631-397-0177. It is time to get back to doing the things you love. Let us take care of the cleaning.
All right, we are back with Kathy Merchant, and Honestly, I was so honored when you decided to come on this podcast, Kathy. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm nervous. We're having the Kathy Merchant on.
I'm fangirling.
Oh, come on, you guys. You're going to make me blush.
No, it's true. It's true. We are big fangirls. So I would love for you to just introduce yourself and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself so they can also fangirl and fan guy over you.
All right, so I'm Kathy Merchant. I own Calico Cleaning in South Haven, Michigan. We're right on Lake Michigan, so we're a very seasonal, touristy area. Touristy, if that is a word. And I started my cleaning business in 2009 out of the trunk of my car, just kind of as extra school clothes money to with my daughter. She was 16 at the time, and at that time I was in a very bad marriage, very abusive marriage, and was just trying to find a way out. And so making extra school clothes money, extra money that I could put aside was kind of the way to do that. Calico Cleaning was never meant to be a business. It didn't even have a name for probably the first 5 years. So that first year we cleaned, I think it was 2 vacation rentals. And then the following season we did 4, and then it just kind of grew from that. And I had to start getting helpers. So, so that was in 2009. And now it has grown to a $1.2 million business. And we have 25 full-time staffed employees. We have a grounds team. I have 6 people on my leadership team. We're a little overstaffed in our leadership right now, trying to get through this season, and then we're going to reconstruct some of our roles here in the office. So I am completely out of the day-to-day operations. I have 2 amazing managers who run all the day-to-day for me. I only do the financials and a little bit of the marketing. I like to do the Facebook marketing myself. And I joined Cleaning Business Fundamentals and during COVID 2021, and that's when our business really grew, was when we joined Cleaning Business Fundamentals and actually structured our company and became a real company at that point and started doing things the correct way. And I always had employees since the second year, but we went to the solo model. I got rid of the 2 cars that I had and went raised our prices. When I joined CBF, we were at $25 an hour. We were so low.
Wow.
So yeah, it was killing us. So we're now at 60 to 63 an hour after 4 years. So we've slowly raised it up over the years. So to where we're supposed to be. So when I did that, one of my coaches that I worked with for a year really had an impact on my life personally and professionally. And I decided at that point that if I could have that impact on just one person, that would be my life's mission. So I decided to become a coach. So I am a cleaning business fundamentals coach, as well as I own Kathy Merchant Coaching, that I coach other female entrepreneurs outside of the cleaning industry as well here in my community, that I work with them on setting goals and time management skills and just having that growth mindset. So I'm currently, at the moment, you guys will be the first to hear this, I have 4 courses getting ready to roll out. It's called the Success Series. So the Success Series is going to be rolling out here within the next month and will be on my website. And it is goal setting for success, time management for success, growth mindset, and imposter syndrome. So all 4 of those courses are going to be as a bundle, or they can be individually, and they'll be on my website. I'm also going to offer coaching with them as well. And if you sign up for the full year of coaching, you get the courses free. So that's going to be coming up in the next month. So you guys are the first to hear about it.
That's
wow,
so
I feel so honored.
Yeah. Hustle Up exclusive, people. Let's go.
Yes. You heard it here first.
Yes, you heard it here first. So so we're in the process of getting them uploaded to my website and getting them ready to roll out. So in the next 30 days, I'm told from my marketing team, they'll be ready to go.
As soon as you get those links, definitely send them to us so that we can share them with our audience as well, because these are really good. I love the imposter syndrome one. I feel like, and this is not at all what I was planning on even talking about today, but but I suffer so bad from imposter syndrome, like so
and I
bad.
have too, and I feel like a lot of female entrepreneurs do. We don't ever hear the guys talk about it, but We're
Yeah.
always so worried about, how other people perceive us and how they see us. And I think women struggle with that a lot. And it goes right along with setting goals and having that growth mindset because, let's face it, women as moms and wives and having a household to run and a business to run. And it took me being able to get back to that coach that I had to help me to get back to the little girl that I used to be and the fun loving person that I used to be before the world told me who I should be, and finding her again and realizing that I am worthy of everything that I'm doing and I very much deserve what I'm doing. And I think a lot of women suffer from that they don't have that self-worth and they don't feel like that they feel like sometimes when they're in the room, they don't belong. And I have felt that way many times. I actually felt that way when I was at the pro event this last week with just some other, coaches and elite members. I just felt like I don't belong here. Right. But I do. I do belong there. And it's just, I was like, all right, knock it off. Like you wouldn't be in this room if you weren't meant to be here. So God has a plan for all of us. So I truly believe that.
That's so funny that you even say this. I literally just said to Holly the other day, I was stalking the pros event online. And for anybody that doesn't know, it's CBF, Cleaning Business Fundamentals, which we do talk about all the time on this podcast. It has different levels. And so the pros and the elites are, the big dogs in the room, the big fish. And Holly and I hope to join pros in September. And I was saying to Holly, I was stalking all the photos and the videos and the pictures, and it looks like so much fun. And I know we're planning on joining in September, but I feel like I don't belong in that room. I want to belong in that room, but I don't belong. And so it's so funny when you talk about imposter syndrome, it really strikes a chord with us because I literally just said this the other day, and why wouldn't I belong in this room? But that was my gut reaction to all those photos and videos. I was like, this looks so cool, but so intimidating to be around all these big fish.
And it's funny that you say that because I waited a whole entire extra year before I joined the pros because I felt that way. Like I didn't deserve to be in that room. And I said that to Diana Russell, and she said, why do you feel that way? And I said, I have the revenue, but I don't feel like I personally have the growth that I need to be in that room. And she said, that's exactly why you need to be in that room to up level yourself personally. So don't ever feel that way. Like you guys totally deserve to be in that room, and you've worked hard to get where you're at. So I really am excited that you'll be coming into the pros because you'll be with me.
Yes, we're very excited. I remember for me, like I felt imposter syndrome at its highest at my first CBF live event, which we spoke about last year. It was last year in 2023, right, Laura? Yeah. And I remember during one of maybe it was the hot seats. I walked out of the room crying because I felt like I didn't belong in there. I was like, and our business is actually a lot smaller. We've grown a lot in the last year. But I just felt so like insignificant. And, there was all these like, elite members and pro members with their lanyards and all these things, and they were making all this money. And, we were new to CBF and the systems, and we were obviously it was our first time ever at an event in general. And I was crying to Laura, and I was like, we don't belong here. I'm nothing. I had these horrible, horrible feelings. So I really I love your mission to really try to eliminate that and show especially women, like you said, because I do think I think it's a little bit of a taboo topic. Like, I feel like people probably don't talk about it as much as it should be discussed. But it's something that really does affect a lot of people, and, especially career women who are trying to grow a business or even just level up in their career working for whoever. I think that it's something that really affects us in such a hard way, and it's so difficult to deal with. And then when you talk to somebody else about it, for me anyway, I feel like I'm kind of being a baby. I don't, it's almost embarrassing,
Yeah, it's embarrassing. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. It's embarrassing.
It feels embarrassing. So I love that you're
but to know that we all kind of suffer with that at some level, right? Maybe not as extreme for some people as others, but were you actually in the hot seat with Debbie?
I did not sit in the hot seat.
Oh,
no,
you did not. Okay. I've been in that hot seat. I was in the hot seat my first live that I went, and it's a very uncomfortable place to be. But I learned a lot from it. Actually, after I was in the hot seat for the topic I was in the hot seat for. It still took me 3 years to implement what she told me and get rid of that person that was causing cancer in my company because it was a family member. So it took me till last year, July. Actually, it was at the pro event last year, not this one, that I actually made that decision and finally made that call. But it was 3 years into CBF and being in the hot seat. I just couldn't do it because she was family. So
I hear that sometimes the right thing to do isn't the easiest thing to do.
It is not.
That's something
I
I've
knew
learned.
it was going to divide my family, and it did. And it's been a year, and we're still divided because of it. But
oh no,
everything happens for a reason, and the company's better, and I hope that she is better, and she's found happiness and loves what she's doing now. So imposter syndrome is very real, and I think the degree of how it affects you plays a huge part in your everyday happiness in your life.
Yeah, it's shocking to hear that you even have imposter syndrome, because I think of the CBF coaches, like you guys are like the rock stars of the cleaning world. So it's almost humbling to hear that, even a CBF coach would have imposter syndrome. But I think that it's so important to be humbled as a coach too, because I always tell Holly, even with this podcast, sometimes I feel like an imposter, but I always say to our listeners, listen, we're going through it with you. We are teaching as we're learning, and we're, so I feel like it's really humbling to know that even the coaches sometimes feel that way. And,
well, we do. And one thing you guys need to remember, and even though you know this, I don't think people put two and two together sometimes, is that coaches are still people too, just like Debbie Sardone is. And we're all going through the same thing, just at a different level. Debbie teaches us that every devil has a new level, and just when you take the eye off the ball, it's going to crumble on you. And that has happened to Debbie. It has happened to every single one of the coaches. There's a few of us coaches that have been going through financial issues. We've been going through employee issues. We've had bad leadership, because what we tend to do is our business grows so fast when you come into CBF is that you start chasing all the shiny objects, right? Everybody wants to chase this new thing and this new thing, and it's going to automate your life. It's going to make things so much easier for you. You can step away from your business a little bit more. You have that time freedom. That's what we all go into this for. We want money and time freedom. That's what we want. And we go into it, and you grow so fast financially, but internally, you're not the leader you need to be, as well as your leadership team is not the leaders they need to be for you to be able to step away from the business. And I think we tend to step away too quickly. I'm in my office every single day, even though I'm down the hallway from my team, but I'm still here with my thumb on. I know what's going on. I've got a pulse of what's going on in my business. The person that I was talking about that I let go, she did all my financials. And I was completely out the day-to-day, and she was the head of my office. And when I had to come back into the business, it has literally taken me a year to crawl out from underneath some of the rocks that we were under that I had no idea was happening. And I will never turn my financials over to anyone again until I'm completely dead and gone. Nobody else is getting control of that again. And I think it's important that we remember that even though revenue-wise, and I won't say maturity-wise, because I think there are a lot of people in CBF that are mature enough that would want to be a coach, but maybe just haven't found that passion yet for it. You have to remember that we still have a business to run behind the scenes too, and we're going through the same things you guys are. And that's what makes us all great coaches. And I won't say I'm a great coach, but the rest of them are phenomenal. They've been doing it a lot longer than I have, and that's why I say that. I don't coach a whole lot because my superpower is short-term rentals. And I love short-term rentals, but in CBF, before I came along, Debbie didn't have anybody that was an expert in short-term rentals. So most of the people in CBF now were coached to get rid of them. And the few that still do have them have been doing it longer than I have. So they don't need my help. Coaching is for people in momentum that want to do Momentum Plus. They're in that valley of despair, right? That's when they need a coach. I'm going to actually start doing more pop-up coaching and just jumping on the CBF Fundamentals page when I have a couple of hours in the afternoon and help people jump on a coaching call that day. Because when you are, it's just going to be like coaching on the spot or whatever you want to call it. But when you're in the valley of despair and you're struggling with whatever you're struggling with that day and you're so overwhelmed you can't see your way out of it, telling someone to book a coaching call a week or 2 weeks from now does not help them. That's just more overwhelming for them. They need it right now. So I'm actually going to start jumping on and say, hey, I've got 2 hours this afternoon. If you're stuck, jump on a coaching call with me and let's get you back on track. Because I talked to Debbie about this when we did our coaches clinic, and I really feel like it will help people a lot more because they truly need help at that moment.
Yeah.
And even though we know helping them a week from now or 2 weeks from now is still going to help them, they're so stressed out they can't see that. They can't see it right then. So I'm going to start doing that here in the next couple of weeks as my calendar slows down a little bit. I'm going to block some time off periodically that I can start doing that. Because I haven't done a whole lot of coaching, and I can help people with more than just short-term rentals, So,
yeah.
But we all have our superpower, and we all try to help as much as we can. And if it's implementing things, I'm going to point somebody to Angel Dirksler every single time. Like, she is the implementing queen. If it's hiring, everybody knows you go to Libby. Like, there's, we're just known for certain things. And yes, I do short-term rentals, but I also can help people with setting goals and their time management issues. And I feel like a lot of people in Essentials and Momentum struggle with that. It's overwhelming. Like, setting goals for some people stresses them out so much to tell them they're setting a goal that they don't even know where to start. So, and I find that a lot in my coaching and in my community here within my town, is that people just struggle with, where do I even start? Like, I don't even know how to write a goal down. Like, I know what I want to do, but where do I get it from here to those action steps that's going to move it forward and actually see some results? So I'm really passionate about helping people clarify what their goals are and focusing on that and then getting results at the end of it. And that's what we all want to do at the end of the day, is move our businesses forward, no matter what your business looks like, whether it's a cleaning business or, you can own the coffee shop down the street. Business is business.
Where did your passion for goal setting, like, what did you always have a passion for that? Like, even when you started your business out of the trunk of your car, like, were you a goals kind of person, or did this kind of happen over time?
I would say no, I wasn't. I was overwhelmed by it. And it was my coach that I had that I said that changed my life, that made me decide I wanted to become a coach. It was actually her telling me about the Full Focus Planner and how structured it was. And I bought the planner, I started using it, and I loved it so much I became certified in their whole system. So I'm a certified Full Focus coach as well. And I use it in my everyday life, and it has helped me so much reach my goals, because it's all about setting goals and having a work-life balance. And I've really struggled I won't say the last couple of years, I'll say up until the last couple of years, that all I did was work. Straight workaholic, 24/7. My husband's a workaholic, I'm a workaholic, like, that's just what we did. And over the last couple of years, I've really started to structure and taking better care of myself and becoming a better leader. And you have to do that personally. Like, you have to start with you. You can't, it's a cliche, they say, but you truly can't pour from an empty cup. Like, if you're just so drained and burnt out, you can't help anyone. You can't help your team. You can't help other people in your community. You can't help other business owners. So finding the Full Focus Planner is all about setting goals and how to do it and do it properly. And every week it makes you look at what worked, what didn't, what will you continue to do, what will you stop doing, what will you delegate to others. And it fit right into my CBF life when I found it. I was like, oh, this is something like I can truly use. And a lot of people like the digital version, but they don't have a digital version on purpose. So the Full Focus Planner was built paper, and it was built by Michael Hyatt for his son who has ADHD, because he could not keep him on task. So he looked for all kinds of different planners and different things to try to do for him and couldn't find it. And I was a planner junkie. Like, I would buy 10 different types of planners at the beginning of every year.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and none of them fit what I wanted it to fit. And once I found the Full Focus Planner, I'm like, this is everything I've been wanting. The only thing it really doesn't have is it doesn't have like inspirational quotes and stuff that I wanted. So I just buy stickers and stick them in my planner of inspirational quotes. So
I love that.
it's very geared towards, I don't know, if you look at it, it's very boring and blah and plain, like for men. And I'm like, just make it pretty colors and give us some inspirational women quotes. And so, but
Do you
they
have
have
like
gotten
a do you have a discount code for that or anything, or like a
I
link?
have a affiliate link I can send you guys. I think it saves you 10%, I think is what it is.
Yeah,
But I can send
definitely
that to
send
you.
that. I may have to
And
buy it
I
myself.
actually, you guys can catch me every once in a while in the CBF group. I do a class on it, a free class on it to teach you how to use it.
Oh, that
So,
sounds awesome.
yeah, I
Holly
love it.
changes planners like every
I
other
know. I'm
week.
like, do I
She
really
changes
need another
planners like
planner?
underpants.
Yes.
I'm a planner
But this
junkie
sounds,
also.
Yes.
but this sounds different. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's just a typical like planner, plan your week. It's about goal setting and
Yeah,
specifically,
so
right?
and the whole beginning of it, I don't know, you guys probably can't see it, but in the whole front part of it, the planner, you have where you set your goals. This is a new one I just started. I don't know if you guys can see that. Then it has
A
the
little.
goal detail.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you
yeah.
break the goals down into steps, and then you move those steps into your monthly plan, and then into your weekly plan, and then you break it down into your daily plan. So you have steps that you're going to reach. And unlike some of the other planners that I've seen where you will have your goals at the beginning and you set them once and that's the last time you look at them for that whole year, right?
Yep.
So this planner actually has you at the end, you have an end of the week review. It's called a weekly review. And you're reviewing your entire week and how far did you get on your big three. They call it the big three. And those are 3 steps that you are doing to reach that bigger goal, right? To keep moving that needle forward. And so what it ends up being is it makes you look at your goals every single week. So they're like in your face every single week. And you're moving them into your daily routine. And then every week you're reviewing them again every single week and moving another chunk of it or what you didn't get done. Because there'll be weeks that it's a big project and I didn't get it all done and I have to move it. But it lists your big 3 again and then a percentage of how much of that did you get done. And you write your next week's big 3. And sometimes they'll just move, right? But I found that it really helps me to break the goals down better and it takes some of that overwhelm out of it. And so
that's what
I
I need.
use it. Yes, I use it every single day in my daily life, my personal life and my work life. Like it's all combined into one. That's what I didn't like a lot about a lot of planners is you had a work planner, you had a personal planner, you have your planner on your phone, you have all these different planners. This is the only thing I take with, it goes with me everywhere. So all my events, it goes with me. I journal on the right-hand side where it has notes. I started journaling a year ago. So I journal every single day on the notes section. It has at the bottom where you list your daily wins. So it makes you look for a win every single day. And if you are a planner junkie, you don't like to leave things not filled out. So if you have that mindset, like you're going to fill out what was my win for the day. You're going to cross off every single task that you got done. You're going to check off your daily 3. So I really like it because of that. It makes your life very structured. And I need that, especially since I'm running 2 businesses and, I'm still a wife and a mom and I have outside things going on. So, I take care of my parents as well. So I have to be very structured and everything has to be scheduled for me. So it works very well for me. But that is when I discovered my passion for goals.
Okay.
It's when I was looking at them every single week and noticing how much I was moving the needle. Because people can get caught up in setting a goal, and as soon as they reach that goal, they move on to the next. They're goal junkies, right? That's what I call them. You're goal junkies because it's just achieving. I got to achieve the next big thing, the next big thing, the next big thing. Never stopping to celebrate that you actually achieve that goal. So I like the planner because it makes you look at your daily wins every single day. What was your big win for today? Even if it was the crappiest day, that in itself can be a win because what did you learn from it? So it's helping you to change that have that growth mindset and to change that mindset and to keep it always front and center of you. So I discovered once I started using the planner that I really did love goals and I did like doing them, but it was because I was seeing the progress. Before I was just, this is my goal. I set it in January for the whole entire year. And then in December, it's like, oh, did you reach your goal? Oh my gosh, gosh, I've got 2 weeks left in the year. I've got to hurry up, right? So this way I'm hitting more goals because every quarter you're setting new goals and you're marking them off throughout the quarter as you go. And when you go back at the end of the year and you look how much you accomplished in all 4 of those books, because each planner is only a quarter. And when you go back and you look at the entire year of what you've accomplished at your year in view, it's like amazing. So I've been using it. This is my 3rd year. I absolutely love it.
I have like a, I don't know the word, but like I have an interesting question that you might be like, what? My question is, so I am I'm also a planner junkie. I love it. But I also try to use planners that, well, it's not even that I am so busy all the time that even finding the time to do it, to like write in the planners takes a lot of time. So my question to you is, how much time do you spend every day filling out your planner, setting your goals? Like, is this something that you really dedicate a lot of time to? Is it something that we should be dedicating a lot of time to? Or is it just kind of like a quick thing?
My question to you is, are you busy or are you productive? There's a huge difference.
Yeah, there is. I'm definitely.
We're so guilty of this. Like my heart just wept a little bit when you said that.
So if you are just busy, what are you busy doing, and is it a priority?
Usually not.
Your planner should be a top priority. It takes me 5 minutes every morning. I shouldn't say every morning, because I journal in the morning, right? So that's just my personal time. So I would say I spend probably 5 to 7 minutes at the end of my day scheduling what I'm going to do the next day. So it doesn't take a lot of time, but the time it gives you back because you're actually being productive versus being busy is worth its weight in gold.
For
and
sure.
You will see how much more you get done. And what is a true priority for you that's on there? Because if you're listing down through there all day long, all the tasks that you do, and you go back and look at it, you're like, why am I doing this? Like, stop doing this. And that's one of the things that I like about the end of the week review in the planner, because it asks you what worked, what didn't, why. It also asks you what will you continue, what will you stop, and what will you delegate. So it asks you those questions every single week. And when you go back and you reflect on it, like at the end of the week, I spend a half hour because I'm doing my weekend review, right, of everything that happened in the week, that previous week. I'm setting my big 3 goals that I want to accomplish to get to my year goals in my next week. So it takes me a half hour to do it on a Sunday evening or first thing Monday morning. I found that doing it Sunday evening works actually best, because if it happens Monday morning, it's not going to happen. The only time it will happen is if I happen to be on a win call and we're doing the win sheet, and then will take the time to fill out my planner. But once I walk through this door Monday morning, it wasn't happening. The weekend review was not happening. So I've learned to do it Sunday evening. Like, I'm just sitting there watching TV anyway. So I spend a half hour, just prioritizing my next week. So it keeps the needle moving and it keeps you going. You will find you're so much more productive and not busy.
Oh, I feel like we need this. Holly and I really struggle with busy work. And then I feel like we have these really important tasks that only the business owner can do. But those always fall to the wayside because we're spending so much time in the day-to-day doing tasks that we probably could delegate. I mean, we've been planning to have level 10 meetings for the past 2 months, and we have not even had one. We have, because we're not prioritizing those things. So it sounds like this goal-setting book really makes you prioritize what's important. And I think the reflection is really important too, because I never reflect. Like, I'll just make a to-do list in the beginning of the day, go cross it all off, and I feel like I was productive when I really wasn't productive in the things that are important.
Right, exactly. So you're coming to retreat, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
of course.
Okay. I will bring you a book in retreat. So when I come see you, I'll see you guys at retreat, and I will bring you a goal setting planner.
Oh, you're so sweet. That makes me so happy, because I feel like, and this is kind of another question, but I have this issue, and so does Holly, where we are big dreamers. So when I set goals, I set them big. Like, I'm like, literally like so big to the point where it's probably unrealistic. but then I never break down those goals. So how do you go about being ambitious and setting big goals while also being realistic with yourself about what's actually achievable?
Well, I would say the biggest thing is to remember math is the path, so math does not lie. So when you are setting goals, they should be big and they should scare you. Like if they don't scare you and you don't think that they're unrealistic, they're not big enough. Like you need to dream big. So that makes my heart very happy that I hear that you guys do that, because most people don't. They'll set a small goal they know they can reach, so they won't feel bad when they didn't reach it. Because, well, I didn't think I would get there anyway, right? So
That makes
setting
sense.
those big, huge goals that scare you and they're like, oh, is this even real? Like, can I even do this? Yes, you can do this. But then you have to reverse engineer it backwards. So, this is my 10-year goal, but what do I need to do in the next 5 years to get there, 3 years, 1 year, and then monthly, right? Breaking it down to weekly. And that's what the Full Focus Planner does, is it helps you break it down from the year all the way back to every day in your everyday life so that you're moving that needle forward. I'm going to bring you guys a Full Focus Planner, but I have one request.
Okay.
If I bring you a Full Focus Planner, you join me in December to set your goals for 2024, and I teach you how to do it the right way.
I'm in.
Deal. I
I'm
love
in.
it.
Okay.
Love it. We need it, honestly. Like, I feel like whenever I hear things like this, I'm like, freaking duh. Like, set it backwards. We talk about that all the time in CVF, but we haven't
But
actually
that can be
done it.
overwhelming,
It's-
right?
it
So
is,
that can be
yeah.
very overwhelming for people of like, I don't even know where to start, right?
Yes.
So, and I tell people all the time, start with what you already know, right? You know your numbers, you have a history. So if it's a revenue-based goal, and that's just the easiest one to do, right? Is work that backwards. Like you can go back and look at your snapshot for the last 12 months. You know what your revenue goal was. Compare year over year from the last couple of years. Is it realistic? If it's not, what do you need to do? Do you need another location? I'm not talking about going and opening another office, and I made that mistake. And thinking that you need a bigger leadership team to run that office, blah, blah, blah. But can you open a satellite office? Libby's doing this right now. She's going to be teaching us all. Libby, she loves to teach. I'm sure she's going to be teaching us all here very soon how to open those additional satellite offices all over the United States and grow your revenue and grow your business, right? And have a corporate business. So if you're reaching for a financial goal, does it need to be another office you open? Can you be more efficient in the business that you're already in? What are those different things from that history that you have that you can go back on and look at? When it comes to personal goals, you have to know yourself. You can have big, huge goals, but if you don't know who you are truly at the core of who you are, and you procrastinate a lot, us women are phenomenal for doing that. Look at Holly over here. She's blushing.
She got the guilty face.
Yeah, the guilty face all over it. I'm a huge procrastinator. I have always been that way. There's actually 4 different levels of procrastination that I teach people. So depends on what level that you are. But I am what they call it's right on the tip of my tongue. It's where you're cooking something and it steams. Pressure cooker. There we go. I'm a pressure cooker. Like I perform best under pressure, and knowing that my timeline is next week and I got to get this done, I will wait up until the night before I have a deadline to work on stuff. But
I'm
I
a
feel
pressure
like
cooker, for sure.
I
Me.
work very well under pressure, but I don't like that about myself. Like I know, like even presentations, they could be so much better if I would prepare weeks ahead of time, right? But then I know myself well enough to know I'm going to keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking it until my original idea is completely gone from where I started with it. But I feel like sometimes that if I do it like at the week of, and I only tweak it a little bit, I still kept my original message. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes
But,
sense.
Yeah.
I've learned that about myself. Like if you give me a bunch of time to do it and I start it, I'm going to tweak it to death until it's like, what was I even talking about? Because it's nowhere near the same anymore, right? What was my topic?
No, yeah, I get that. I took the Laura, what's the assessment called that we took? The Colby,
The Colby
assessment.
Mhm.
It was like life changing for me. I'm not kidding, because it basically told me that like I need a sense of urgency to get things done. So
Right. And I think that people like us, Holly, thrive under the chaos. Like, Laura seems to be more calm and collective, and you and I are just like, rah, like, let's do it,
Yep.
So I think that's why I went into short-term rentals, because it's just chaos all the time, right? So I thrive on it. Like, I've done it for years. Like, I thrive on the chaos. But I'm getting older, and you'll find, Holly, as you get older, you want to slow down a little bit more.
I'm
The
feeling
chaos
that
is
now.
not so good.
I'm feeling that even now, but Laura does have to like reel me in. Like she has to dial me in. She's like, "Let's calm down. That like we'll do this a different way." Because I'm over here like I've like said I want to change the business name. I want to do this. I want to rebrand. I want to like get rid of the whole team, start over. Like I've had all these crazy ideas where I'm just like, not anytime recently, by the way. I love our team now. Like love our team, but in the past. And she's like, "Okay, let's calm down. Let's
make a pros and cons list. Let's figure it out.
Let's mind map this one. Let's make sure this is doable.
Let's have an actual plan."
Yeah, because I'm one of those people. I just dive into things like without thinking. I'm so bad like that.
So are you the visionary and she's the implementer on your team?
So
this is the problem. We're
both visionaries.
But more visionary, yeah, definitely. Me and Holly are very similar, and thank goodness, which we have talked about on this podcast. We have Ashley, who's our right-hand woman, who we eventually want to make our office manager. She is the complete opposite to us in every way. So she's reels us in.
She's big on the research and development of like an idea. She needs to know what the pros and cons are. She remembers everything. Like I don't know.
What is her DISC score? Do you know what she is in DISC?
Ooh, she took it.
She took it. She was high on the C.
Yeah, that sounds
D.
right.
She was a C and a D, and Holly high I. Yeah.
She was not as high on the D. She wasn't as high on the D as we thought she would be. We thought she would score higher on the D. She was actually mostly high on the C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was high on the I.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I can see you guys being I's. Yeah. I would say you guys were DI's though, not just.
I'm not a D.
We were IS.
I was
IS heavy on the I.
I was I and S.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a lot higher on the S than I was expecting actually, which was eye-opening for me.
I'm very high D and then I after that.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And both my office managers in my cleaning company are both DIs. So we work very well together, but then the whole rest of my leadership team are CSs. So it's like, okay, the three of us got to rein it in. Like we go to CBF Live and we come back and we're just, we're going to do all of this, right? Yep. And then we're like, they're looking at us like, oh my God, like you stop going to events. So we've learned over the last couple of years to just, because they come with me every year. So especially now that I'm a coach, because they're learning and I'm not learning anymore. Like, right, I'm working the room and helping people out in the room. So they come with me every year, and I tell them to be able to come with me. It's a luxury of being able to come with me, but you have to come back with 2 ideas to implement that you learned. So we're not just going to have fun, right? You need to come back with 2 ideas, each of you, not just 2 ideas. Wow. So each of you come back with 2 new ideas that we're going to implement in the company, and you can't vomit all over. And they know, because the first year I went and I came back and I vomited all over them. So, and they were ready to quit. But and they've been with me one of them's been with me 4 years, 1 7 and 1 15.
Wow.
So yeah. So
right
Brittany has
the beginning. That's the
OG.
OG.
Brittany was with me. She was with me my first year. Not my first year. I'm sorry. It was me and my daughter. She came the second year. So May will be 15 years. She's with me.
Wow.
She came with me my second year. She moved to Washington for a year. And I told her when she moved, you always have a home here. So if you ever come home, you have a job. And she messaged me on Facebook and she said, I'm coming home. And I said, you can start Monday. And she did. And she's been with me for 15 years. So but when I should pass away, she will take over my company and it will go to her. So,
wow.
My kids don't want anything to do with it. And so, I burnt my daughter out. It was not good. My daughter and I worked together for the first 4 years, and we ended on bad terms, and it ruined our relationship for about a year, and then it took us a long time to build that back, and I would rather have my daughter than have her in the business. So
totally.
Yeah. So so should something ever happen to me, the business will go to Brittany, and we've put those legal steps into place so that she's protected should something happen to me. But she can run all aspects of the business. She just is learning the financial side. So she's kind of my general manager. We don't call her that, but she's second in command. And then Marsha's been with me 7 years, and she can sell ice to Eskimos. So she's got like a 78% close rate if she can physically get them on the phone. And and
I
we're
had to meet with her.
Yeah.
Oh
everybody loves Marsha in CBF. They're like, can we have a Marsha? So she has 12 or 15 years of past sales experience before she came to work here. And I did not know that when she first came to work here. A lot of people don't know when she came to work here, they did not realize that Marsha is my husband's ex-wife. And she came to work in the business with me on the short-term rental side in the laundry. So for a couple of years, it was a running joke that we had my husband's ex-wife in the dungeon, because we call our basement the dungeon.
That's so cool.
It is. And but we were friends in high school, and I dated my husband in high school, and he broke up with me to date her. And they were married for 15 years and had 3 beautiful children, and then they were divorced for 20 some years when him and I reconnected. So
wow.
So she came to work for me, and she was in the basement, and one day she happened to be walking by, and I asked her to grab the phone, and she did, and I was like, who the hell is on the phone? And they're like, that's Marsha. And I'm like, whoa. Like, she just goes into this customer service voice, and all of our customers just absolutely adore her and love her. And so I asked her, would she take over my sales position? And she was like, I don't know. I don't want to be up here and all the chaos. I just like being in the basement, you know. And so her job was a seasonal job, and she ended up taking the position in the winter. She messaged me, and she's like, hey, is that position still open? I'd like to come up out, you know, from doing the laundry. And so she came in as an office assistant, and then within a couple of months, we moved her right into sales.
Wow.
My first salesperson I had, and she's been with me going on 7 years now.
That's like some beautiful tea. It's tea, but it's like beautiful tea. Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
and I used to tell our team, because I would do the orientations, and I would always like introduce who the leadership team is, and I would tell my team that story. And she came to live with me 2 years ago, just her and I by ourselves, and she was pissed at me when I picked her up. Like, I knew she was mad. And I'm like, this is not going to be a good trip, right? But we literally spent the entire trip talking nonstop, like till hours in the morning. Like, we talked, and we hashed out everything from personal with our kids to the business to the roles that we were in. And it really kind of like solidified our relationship. And like, she's my best friend to this day. And
wow.
I used to tell people all the time when they came in who she was, that she was my husband's ex-wife. And it made me realize on that trip that she was more than my husband's ex-wife. And she deserved for them to get to know her without putting that tag on her.
Yeah, because I'm sure it led people to immediately think weird things, probably.
Yeah, because they're like, really? You two work together? This is going to be chaos. Like, nobody's going to get along.
Yeah.
We get along beautifully, but right. Our kids think it's weird that her and I are best friends. Like, they're just like, this is not normal. Like, you're supposed to be fighting. And we don't fight it out. Like, we just have such a respect for each other, and we're very similar and alike in our core values and how we think and the way we do things. We're the same age. She's a couple months younger than me. So it's been a beautiful relationship, but I no longer tell that story because I didn't want to make her feel any less valued than what she truly was. But now she thinks it's really cool, and she actually has shared it with our team a couple months ago, and a lot of them are brand new because we've been growing so much. And I was actually shocked. I was like, wow, you know, I'm surprised that she's like, I don't even know where that come from. I wasn't even going to tell nobody that. It just started coming out when I was talking. And I was like, well, it's great though. You know, it's great that people can see that if we can have that relationship and work together and have such a dynamic relationship like we do, you got no excuse for why you can't work with a coworker, okay? Because there's no excuse you can give me. Because if we can do it, anybody can do it. But you have to have a mutual respect for each other, and you have to have, you know, a love for each other, and we do. And our families don't get it, they don't understand it, but it works for us. So,
I love that.
She's been here a long time, and I can honestly say if she ever left the business, I don't know what we would do. We would definitely go backwards.
Aww.
Because it would be extremely hard to replace her. She's just that valuable. Wow. So she's my number 3. You
I
know,
love
Brittany's been
that.
here 15 years. She's my number two. So, but when they run everything the day to day, I'm not in it
Wow.
at all. I sit down the hallway. I can hear what's going on. Um, I opened a second division back in November of last year, and I was up in that division until January of this year, and it was the worst. Well, I shouldn't say January, June. It was actually June. January, we made the decision it was time for us to all come back together again. But for November through June 1st, when we moved here in this office together, we were separated and we were all miserable and we all hated it. So it's been nice to be all back together. I still have my own privacy because I'm down the hallway from them, but I can hear them and I can hear what's going on. And I'm right here if they need me, which they don't ever. But it's nice to just visit with them in the mornings and hear, you know, actually see my team, because I had built such a big team that I didn't even know them. You know,
Wow.
I was in a different location and they were here and they're building the team, and there's people on my team I haven't even met, and I don't like that. You know, I've always been very close to where even if I'm not your boss and I'm not dealing with you on a day-to-day basis, I want you to know who I am, and I want to be able to know you by your name when you come into my office. And I lost that by going into another location. So that's why I said that earlier about don't open a second location and think you need this big office and somebody up there to man it, because you truly don't. You don't need all that.
Yeah. I think that's also just why it's so good that you are very with your like goal setting and your planning and stuff, like you kind of learn like what you should do and versus like what you shouldn't, or what maybe
Right.
it's not the right time to do something, because maybe later down the line it'll be a great time to do it, but maybe just like in
Right.
the season
Well,
you're in.
we still have that location open. And we have a small office there, but I went and got this big, beautiful 4 offices with an entryway, and I let my ego get in the way. The person that I let go last year had been telling me she was my integrator, and she had been telling me for the last 3 years, no, we can't do this. We're not doing this. We can't financially afford it. You're not going to do it. And I was like, when she was gone, I was like, look, I'm doing this. There ain't nobody here to tell me I can't, and I want it, and I'm doing it. And I let my ego get in the way. She was right. I did not need all of that. So we just downsized to a small 1-room office. So I have 5 cleaners who live in that area, and that way they can still restock their supplies whenever they need to. And when I'm hiring for that area, I still have an office that I can do interviews and stuff at. But we went from this big $1,700 a month office to a $300 a month office on the same floor. So, you know, huge difference.
Do you have an office worker there, or
No,
is it
it's
kind of
unmanned.
just? Oh wow.
Yeah, they have a code. They can go in, the 5 cleaners,
Wow.
and restock. And once a week, the team lead that lives in that area will restock whatever they need from the main office here, because it's an hour and a half, about an hour away actually, from where I am.
Wow, interesting.
So yeah. So
We're-
once a week,
I love
she is
that.
down here, or at least I think it's bi-weekly actually. She is down here for a job a client that she had before she moved, and she didn't want to give her up. So she drives down here every 2 weeks to service that client, and she'll get supplies they need and restock it. So it's worked out well.
Wow.
You have things so neat and organized.
I know,
guess
you're
you have to be to do what you do with your
Yeah.
short-term rentals. Like you have
Yeah.
to be on top of your stuff. But it sounds like you've built such a beautiful system where you're down the hall, but you just said they don't even bother you. They just know
Right.
what they're doing. You trust that they got it, and like that's the beautiful thing, because I feel like that's what we all want as business owners. I could
Right.
not even imagine, and I mean we're not ready at our size, but I could not even imagine being removed from it or having them not need us. Even while we hopped on this podcast, I texted our number 1 girl Ashley and was like, "Hey, can you manage everything while we're busy if the employees need anything?" Because I couldn't even imagine being removed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have Marsha and Brittany. They just run it all. Brittany runs the vacation rental side, and Marsha runs the residential side, and they just handle it, everything from the day to day. When I'm gone,
So
I was
nice.
gone all last week, and the only day that I was helping out at all was Saturday, and it was because Brittany was on vacation. Her son was in a baseball tournament, and I knew she was busy with her family all day. So I'm sitting in the airport stuck because I got delayed. I was delayed there for 8 hours before I finally got home.
Oh my
So yeah, that's another whole ordeal. But so I was just, you know, on Slack helping the girls as much as I could. I don't always know some of the details anymore because I'm not in the day to day. So I'm like, did you read your notes? Like, it's in your notes, you know, and try to help as much as I can there. But unless one of them are out, they handle everything.
That's beautiful.
I can be gone for 2 weeks and I call them and they're like, we got this. Why are you bothering us? Okay. So I don't even call them anymore.
That's the
If they
goal.
need me,
Wow.
they'll call me. So
That is the goal. Well, going back to that goal setting we're going to be doing in December,
right.
that's definitely one of them. Because Holly and I want to take vacations together too. I mean, we are best friends, so
Right.
we want to go on vacations together. And even in February, we're planning a trip with me, her, and Ashley, our number one girl. And I was like, I'm going to have to bring my laptop. I'm going to have to work all week while up by the pool, and it may be the case. But I would love to one day be at a point where you are.
Yeah. You'll get there.
Yeah.
It took me 15 years to get there. Before, I would say the last 3 years I haven't worked 7 days a week. When you have a short-term rental business, it's 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And Brittany and I worked 7 days every single weekend. We were working together side by side. And we finally got in the business now where she has somebody that can help her, and they rotate weekends. So she's not 7 days a week anymore either. So every other weekend they're off, or 2 on, 2 off. I said, I don't care how you do it as long as I ain't got to do it. You two can figure it out. So she has someone who helps her now that because she does more of our payroll and scheduling for the short-term rentals. So she has a helper now that handles all the cleaners and does the inspections and all that out in the field stuff that she used to do when I was handling the back office stuff. But now that she's moved into that role, we have a helper just this year for her. So this has been her first year. She hasn't had to work every single weekend as well.
Wow.
But it took us 15 years to get there.
Yeah.
When you're first starting out, especially if you have short-term rentals, I tell people all the time, if you're thinking about doing it and you're not already doing them, really think about the quality of life that you're giving up. Because if at the end of the day, when somebody doesn't clean a house and calls in, it falls back on you. And it's not like a residential that you can reschedule it for next week. It's renters are coming in and they're expecting to come into a clean house. So you have to do it that day. It doesn't matter if it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, or, it's during the day. If something's missed, if something didn't get done right, it falls back on the owner. So
Yeah,
I tell
that's
everybody,
stressful.
really, really think about, unless you're like me and Holly and thrive on that chaos, don't do it.
Sounds like my nightmare.
I don't know.
Don't do it.
I definitely am a chaotic person for sure, but I really do value like my being able to be home and do nothing. Like that's important to me.
Mhm.
So that's the one crazy idea I never had.
Yeah.
I never had the crazy idea to do short-term rentals because
Well, where I live, it pretty much is all there is here. So that's how
Okay.
I started, right? So I didn't start doing residentials until we joined Queenie Business Fundamentals. And the
Wow.
only reason I did that was to try to keep some of my staff working year round, because we're very seasonal. Come November 1st in South Haven, Michigan, it's a ghost town. Like
Wow.
they've all flew south, going wherever it's warm, and the businesses are shut down. The little shops in town are shut down. Like there's nothing here. There's nothing going on. And so every April I was back in that hamster wheel of hiring new staff all over again because I had no work for them to keep them busy in the winter. Originally, when I first started, I was closed every winter. My whole business was seasonal. So I would open back up the 1st of April and we would close about mid-November, November 15th, right around there. And be
Wow.
closed for the winter. And so when I joined Queenie Business Fundamentals, it was to learn how to grow a residential side. And it's been slow. We're only I think we're at 132 clients on the residential side, but I think we have 6 or 8 cleaners. I don't even know. See, I'm not in the day-to-day. I don't know. We go over the numbers once a week, and I'm like, oh, it's still moving in the right direction. We're good. So, but yeah, it's slow, but it's been very slow for us, which was why we opened the second location, because this is a very tourist area. So we only have a population of 4,087 in my town. Very, very small.
Wow.
And probably, I would say 78 to 80% of them go south, go somewhere warm for the winter. And the rest of the people that live here, they don't go because they can't afford to go. So then they definitely can't afford a cleaning service, right? So that's, we have a lot of snowbirds that come back. So the other location I opened is about an hour away in the next biggest city that didn't go towards Jeannie Henderson, because Jeannie's only 45 minutes from me, the opposite direction. So she's more east, and this was north. So there's huge potential there. But as you guys know, there's a lot of Michigan CBF members.
Yeah,
And so
there
if
is.
I go even 20 more minutes farther north, I'm going to run into 3 of them that are right there together. So
Wow.
yeah,
It's a
Yeah,
cluster
so
like
I've
that here too, where we are.
Yeah, we have it the same.
Yeah,
Where are you guys located?
we're on Long Island.
Oh, okay.
So we've got 2 to the east of us. We've got 1 literally 10 minutes from us, but her business is a lot smaller. But the population here is like, I don't even know how much it is, but it's like probably hundreds of thousands. Like it's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
We're
Yeah,
very
it's a lot.
You got no
cluttered.
worries.
No.
When you're coming from a population of 4,000, then I'm worried.
Yeah, yeah.
But so we went more towards north up to Holland is where we are, and we have the potential there of about 60,000 clients.
Wow.
That's what we could get from that area. So that are here year round, live there. There's hospitals and factories and businesses that are open year round there. So that's why I went that direction. I was going to go south and just found out we have a brand new CBM member who signed up at Live who lives in St. Joe, which is 30 minutes from me to the south. So I'm like, I'll stay north for right now. If I go much farther north, then I run into Raquel and Erica Perez and all of those ladies that are up that way. So
Wow, there is a lot of you.
There is.
Wow.
I want to say the last I knew, there's like 30 or 32 with the new ones that came in during April, just in Michigan.
Wow.
Wow.
That's interesting. And I thought we were
it's
bad.
not. Think about it, Holly. Who lives in Michigan? Jeannie Henderson, number one
Yeah.
recruiter
I know.
for CBF, right? So they're all Michigan people, right?
That makes sense. Yeah,
She
I
talks
thought
to
we
people
had
all the time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love it. I mean, it's good. You guys, yeah, we're all like that. We're all about helping each other. Even here on Long Island,
Mhm.
we're constantly passing clients back and forth to people because, we've gotten a few great clients from some of our colleagues who are also in CBF who either just didn't have the capacity for them or they were a little bit out of their service area. So it ends up working out in your favor when you start linking up.
Yeah, it works really good for us. Like me, Jeannie, Jen Tangerman, and Laura, I can't think of Laura's last name, we all overlap each other. So, like, we refer, like, them three are in Kalamazoo, but Jen Tangerman lives in Lawrence. So her service area starts in Lawrence. I service Lawrence. She's Paw Paw, Madawan, up through there. Like, we do, we just cross over each other. But when we're, short-staffed and we don't have enough, like, we refer people to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Jeannie sends me everybody that she gets in Paw Paw because she doesn't want to go that far, even though it's not that far for her. She knows she has the capacity there in Kalamazoo and Portage that she doesn't need to go outside her service area there until she completely saturates that area.
Right.
So she sends me all the Paw Paw that she gets. But Jen Tangerman is also right there in Paw Paw and Madawan and Lawrence, those, that little close area. So, but
No, it's better to have connections, though. I mean, we love being able to say, like, hey, we can't help you, but here's a really good company that, is going to be able to help you. Our core values
exactly
line.
the way we do,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly.
And you're passing them to somebody good because you don't want to give a referral and then it ends up not working out because then it's on you. So having these colleagues that we know operate the same way we do, have the same core values, it's so important. And I love it. I always say, like, keep that competition close. We have great relationships with some of them. We're lucky.
Yeah. I actually have somebody who's right in my area for my short-term rentals who used to be in CBF. She's not any longer, but I've had a very hard time getting her to connect with me. She just doesn't have that mindset that we can do this together and collaborate together, not be competition, but we truly are each other's main competition in this town. But I love that the CBF mentality is collaboration and not competition.
Yeah.
So
we're the same way. We have a few people out here that are the same way, where they just want to do it their way, and at that point, there's nothing you can do.
And that's fine, but I just don't badmouth me, right? If you're, just because we're a competition, doesn't mean that we're a horrible company.
Yeah,
because we're not by any way. So. Yeah.
Luckily, we don't deal with that. Thank goodness. Even the people who we can't really collaborate with,
we did in the beginning, but it's gotten better over the years. Yeah. Right? So.
Well, now your company's like you're the top dog. Like they can't badmouth Queen Kathy.
Right.
Come on now,
yeah.
Let's not get crazy. What?
Oh, you guys are funny. So,
Queen Kathy, I like that.
Queen Kathy.
Queen Kathy.
Oh. All right, Holly, I'm expecting a shirt that says Queen Kathy on it.
Yes, I got the machine. We got it.
Just teasing.
Yes,
We
we
got
got
you.
Kathy shirt in exchange for a full focus planner. I think that's pretty good.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I think that's a
Writing
pretty
that
good
down.
trade. I think that's
What's your favorite color, Kathy?
Purple.
Purple. Love it. Noted. This has been so fun. I feel like
It
while
has.
we were talking, I forgot that we were podcasting. Like there was definitely
I
moments
did
during this
too.
conversation.
We're just having a
I forgot.
conversation.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, people are listening to this. But this was so good. I'm so excited to really dive into some goals. I'm excited especially to meet with you in December and dive into some goals. But just thank you so much for, spending the morning with us. I know that you're such a busy woman, so I appreciate your time. And I would love for you to just let our listeners know, where can they find you? Where can they connect with you? Where can they coach with you if you're interested? So if you could just shamelessly plug everything, that would be amazing.
Okay. If you are a cleaning business owner, you would go to cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com and look for the coaches, and you can book a call with me there. And I think it's Cleaning Business Fundamentals / Coach Kathy. And then if you aren't in the cleaning industry and just want some help with your goal setting and time management or imposter syndrome, I'm also going to be doing some work on money mastery and resilience as well after I roll out the success plan. So those are my goals by the end of the year, to have those 6 courses. So you can find me at kathymerchant.com, kathymerchantcoaching.com. And also on Facebook as well at Kathy Merchant Coaching.
Awesome. Well, definitely don't shy away from this. I'm like, you're doing all the things too. I love it. I didn't even know that you did outside coaching outside of cleaning business owners. So
yeah, I have been for a couple of years. Every year I do a vision board retreat with another person here in our community. She does the vision board side of it, and I do taking that vision and now putting it into goals and working that plan, giving them a strategic plan to leave with at the end of the retreat. So to help them reach their goals. So I started that a couple of years ago. And then I was actually doing that before I became a Cleaning Business Fundamentals coach. So, but that was like a one-time thing during the year, and I wasn't doing any side coaching. And then, like I said, once I worked with a coach and how much she changed my life, I'm like, I really want to help other people to get back to who that person was before the world told you who you should be, and help you to become happier and live to your full potential and not just survive every day. I find that women tend to just be in survival mode all the time, and I want people to be able to thrive. And so that's my goal, is to help them figure out what their goals are and it not be so overwhelming for them, and then give them a strategic plan of what can we do to help you reach those goals. So that's when I started my true coaching outside of the cleaning industry, because setting goals and helping other women find that potential is just a huge passion of mine.
You're living the life I want to be living. I don't know if you know that. If we could just Freaky Friday stop,
I can totally see you, Holly, being a coach someday. When you're ready.
I told Laura at our first live, I was like, I'm going to be on that stage one day. Did I not say that, Laura?
Yes, she did.
Yep. I told her that.
It's funny because I had no desire to be on that stage. I did not want I did not like being up there. I didn't like anything about it. I still get very nervous when I have to go on stage, but once I get up there, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's getting me to get up there,
You'd never know. You're such a natural. You're so good. You'd never know.
Yeah. I'm really good with talking with, people up to 50 in a room, because I've been doing that in my community. I'm actually, our South Haven Business Hub here puts on a mentorship program for people just starting their business. They've been in business for under a year or under. And so I'm a mentor for them. So I've been coaching them for the last couple of years. And so working with them individually, and I'm like, everything I'm doing is just moving me to coaching. And so I have finally decided, I want to retire in the next 5 years. And so when I retire, I can coach from anywhere. I can still make an impact. I can still help people, whether I'm traveling somewhere warm in the winter with my husband or wherever I happen to be. So that's when I really decided coaching was what I wanted to do.
We're going to need to, okay. Hear me out. First of all, I really do want to have you back on at the end of the year to talk about goal setting. Let's revisit this, right?
Okay.
But also, I feel like I'm just going to need some time at some point to hear your whole story. Like,
Okay.
because like you do so much, and I need to know how you like started everything you do. So like, because like I love what
By
you do.
accident, Holly, I kind of fell into it.
I just
No,
love
you
it.
know how it happens? Not knowing how to say no to people. That's how it happens.
It kind of worked out in your favor. I know saying no is important,
Yeah.
but like in this case, it kind of worked
Yeah.
out in your favor because you're doing all the most awesome things. Like, and then
Well, thanks.
you keep saying, "Oh yeah, we also do this, and also we do this mentor thing, and also
I'm
do
like,
a
when
read,
do you sleep?
and also I do."
When do you
I know,
eat?
like,
How are you? Like, we're gonna need to talk about time management too, because I feel like I suck at that, and you're doing it.
sorry
so,
guys, my dog is barking. Apologies.
Sorry, Sage got excited. But yeah, I also want to know like how, not only like how did it start, but how are you managing all your time to do all the things and do them all well?
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'd love to come back
definitely
on.
gonna have you back on.
All right.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
It's been a great time. This is so good. We should be like charging for this episode. I don't even want it to end, but we can't go over it anymore because they say prime podcasting time is 20 minutes, and we're already at an hour and 5. So we will definitely have you back on. We'll reschedule like at the end of the year. We'll kind of do like more of like a time management goal setting like episode. So all of our listeners who are hearing this and you're like, yeah, I want more of Kathy. In the meantime, definitely visit queenkathy.com. No, I'm kidding. That's not what it is.
Love that.
But Kathy Merchant Coaching for now, but she will definitely be back at the end of the year. So make sure you stick around. Thank you guys so much for listening. Kathy, thank you for being here. And
You're welcome.
we'll be back.
I'll see you in September.
Yes.